today we have Soy Candles by Kandila. That's her handle on Instagram. And today she is with me and we're just gonna chica and answer some questions. But we had a really good conversation before actually recording. So we were talking about the importance of not letting social media dictate too much and just kind of doing it as you go or whatever feels right to you, right?
Yes. So when I started before the algorithm and everything, it was more of like you're having fun
Mhm.
sharing all these things on social media, like your new products, things like that. And then all of a sudden, like TikTok was there and you couldn't
Yeah.
keep up. So I even opened a TikTok account. Like, I'm like, I have to be in, I have to give it a shot. So it was more of like something like it's already a task and
Yeah.
it's not something that I wanted to do. I'm not enjoying it anymore.
Mm.
So I even tried to do like, oh, do one reel a day. Like, you've seen those marketing strategies. And,
Mhm.
for some people it did work. But for me, when I started, I didn't even want to put my face on social media. Like, I didn't want to do stories, even like the picture of me, like my selfie.
Mm.
I couldn't. I just started to show up more on social media. I became more comfortable because it required me to do
Mm.
that so that people will know who they're buying from, because it's so hard to like sell right on social media if the person or the clients or potential customers do not know you.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. However, at first I was enjoying it, and then the reels started to like take place and all that, and then all these marketing strategies, the social media strategies for you to grow your following, for you to grow your business, for you to convert those clients, from that likes and the following. So at first I was like, yeah, I can do this. Then all of a sudden it just hit, it just went to the point where, okay, this is really too much for me. I am so focused on what days, what time of the day should I be posting so
Mhm.
that I would get a lot of views. People would like it and people would share it, and potentially, I would have more clients, more followers. And it became like, what's the importance of my business? Is
Mm.
it all about social media? Is
Yeah.
it just all about posting? It's just like it started to overwhelm me. I
Mm.
started to overthink about it to the point where I don't want to post it because it's not perfect enough, or I just post it just for the heck of it. Like,
Mm.
just because I need to post something today, and
Yes.
it doesn't give value, and it doesn't give you that connection with your followers. It's like a portion of your business. It's
Mm.
not the entirety of your business. There are different ways to connect with your customers. There
Mm.
are different ways to get clients to purchase from you. And believe it or not, most of the people who were purchasing from me, like the big orders, are the ones who were not on social media.
Oh yeah,
And
that's been
and
cool.
it's so interesting because you'll never really know, like, the people that you meet, you interact with. Like, most of the people who bought from me, who ordered from me, they don't use social media that much. They would send me an email
Mm.
and would request for like information, like, oh, you know what, a friend of a friend introduced me to you and you make so and so.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to like pivot, to shift it. I'm just gonna post something when I feel like it.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to spend hours and hours of editing,
Yeah.
repeating the same dance. I started to like minimize that. Like, I started to just post things that would be relevant for my business, focus more on creating connections,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
whether it be through DMs, whether it be
Mhm.
through emails, or like in person. Now that we have in person, we were talking about this earlier. It's like, if I post this after that, will it make me want to do more products, or will it make me want to do more
Yeah.
of whatever I needed to do? And it's just like those questions that you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth it?
Yeah, I guess it also means I don't, attract a lot of traffic into my website or like have a lot of followers. But I'm also willing to accept that just because like
Yeah.
I just know it's more important to me to not be stressed out about like
Yes.
or
Yes,
overthink about,
yes.
oh, did I
And
post
there
this?
are different ways of like, I think there are different ways for you to like create content. Like, yes, you still have to post, you still have to, the social media
Mm.
presence is just is as important
Right.
as you selling your products, but also at the same time, it's just like you have to always do a self check,
Right. Yeah.
reevaluate, like,
Doesn't have to be everything. Yeah.
yes, it doesn't have to be like this is not the end of the world. Like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake and all that. Like, come on, you can just delete it. Like,
Mhm.
people won't really care. Like, I was so fixated on the fact, like, oh my gosh, it's like I don't want to delete it because if I delete this, like, things like that, or oh my goodness, it's like I made a mistake doing this. It's so embarrassing. It was a grammatical error, like, and it's just like so
Mm.
embarrassing. But at the same time, it's just like I'm not perfect. It's a
Yeah.
representation of who I am and that I'm not a robot, that I make mistakes.
Mhm.
Like, hello, excuse me, like, yeah, it is what it is. And it took me a while to understand that because me being
Mhm.
a perfectionist, like I want everything like
Yeah.
synchronized, I want everything looking perfect. Like it's just hard for me to let go of certain things like that. But at the expense of what?
Yeah.
Right?
And you know
I
what?
think,
I
yeah.
think, yeah, what has been helpful recently, I just like a new learning for me that I'm starting to just kind of be kinder to myself. Like you said, it were like
Yes.
I am such a perfectionist and I always want to do everything like all or nothing. Like I have to do everything by the book. Maybe next week I will be very productive and will want to post
Yes.
every day. But this week I am so busy with work that, juggling my like posting every day wouldn't have
Mhm.
been sustainable for me. So it's like just accepting that and knowing the consequences. Like
Like
I
giving
know,
yourself some grace because
right.
this is not the only thing that you're doing. Like as a
Mhm.
small business owner, you also have a full-time job. Like you
Mhm.
have a husband, you have kids, you're a wife. Like
Mhm.
it's not just this is not everything. And I think for me to actually get to the point and realize that it took a lot of, my mental health. Like I
Mhm.
had to like take a step back and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to force myself to do something that
Yeah.
I'm not willing to do just because of so and so. You have to be at a place, at a situation, a position where you're doing it because you are enjoying it. It's just
Yes.
it's
That's the
it's
best feeling.
that's the
It
best.
really
It's
is.
like
Yeah.
enjoying it. It's just like it's so it's hard to explain it before because
Yes.
I'm so fixated on like the metrics. Like I'm so fixated on
Mhm.
the numbers and all that. Like I need to get this, I need to get that. But at the same time, like you're not a robot. Like you have a lot of things going on in life and life happens.
I have to remember that
Mhm.
like what works for other people might not work for me.
If you look at my page, like I was telling you earlier, like the whole transition of going to Texas,
Yes.
what am I going to post? Like, people are not gonna watch or
I
not.
actually
I
really
can't.
enjoyed that, by the way.
Like
I don't know if you know, but I was following your story and it's so funny to just like, I don't know, it's just enjoyable to watch you visit like
something
different
that's not
places.
about candles, like,
It's
and it's just
fun.
like
Yeah.
I started to share things that I enjoy,
Mm.
that with hopes of like people will also enjoy this and let them know like, hey, this is another side of me that you guys probably don't know. Like, yeah, I do crazy stuff, I do dances and I make fun of my kids, and I love to eat and I love to dance, I love to like showcase all the stuff when I get bored, but also at the same time it's just like, yeah, this is what you see is what you get. Like I think for me, I had to like that shell was actually broken. The point
Mhm.
where I want to show up as myself. Like
Yeah.
I want people to know that this is me, that I do stuff like this. And sometimes I post a lot of stuff and all of a sudden there's nothing. Like
Yes.
they're like,
Yeah.
people would just like,
Yeah.
hello,
And
you dead? Like,
honestly, I don't think people, I've learned this because I remembered I was telling you I have like another passion project, like
yes. Hmm.
side account that I do.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think I've been posting there like, hi, sorry I was gone for a while. And people are like, you were? And it's like,
Yeah, and
oh,
they don't even
really?
notice.
I'm
It's
just glad that you're back. Like that's all they
yes.
care about. It's like,
And
oh, you're
and
back.
it's just like,
But
and
yeah, they're not.
and it's just so funny. They don't really get, you're the only one who's thinking about it. So
Yes, I'm like, oh my
now,
gosh, like I'm gonna lose followers because I stopped posting.
yes,
But really, the
yes,
real ones stay, and they
yes,
just
the
I'm
real,
happy. They're
exactly.
happy to like
Yes,
see you show up again.
yes,
So
yes.
that's what I've learned, and I just
Mhm.
doing what I can. I mean, maybe at some point I'll be more consistent and more into it, but at this point, I just really like
So
making
when you
connections.
said about the consistency, I
Mhm,
think consistency varies. Like I
mhm,
could be consistent showing up like Monday, Wednesday, Friday
mhm.
is when I'm consistent, and that's consistent for me. For
Yeah.
some people, it could be every day. Some people could be like once or twice a week. And I
Mhm.
think I had to learn that. Like I had to tell myself, like, you know what? I am consistent posting it when it's towards the end, towards the weekend.
Yeah.
Why? Because Monday through Wednesday or Thursday,
Mhm.
I'm using all that energy to something that would help me move forward with my business or with my
Yeah.
life, right? And for me, it's just like, okay, I feel better posting it on a Thursday and a Friday, even if it's just like, oh, this is this week's shenanigans. Like this is the week that, oh, this is, by the way, that's why I'm out. Like this is what we've been doing. And it's kind of like a photo dump, story dump type of thing. But like I said, people don't really care. Like when they see it, it's like, oh, that's what
It's
happened.
fun.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
great, right? And it's just like I think just focusing more on what works for you and not focusing
Mhm,
on what you
exactly.
think other people are thinking about is just a huge difference. So for me, my consistency may vary from your consistency. So
Mm.
you just have to work your way around it and do what works for you, what's best for you, and what's best for your mental health, setting those boundaries that it's not all about social media. Like
Yeah. Oh
life
my
is
God,
not
this
about
is such
social
a
media.
good, yes, this
Yeah.
is such a good topic and such a good lesson to share because you know what? Sometimes social media is a little deceptive and you see that and it kind of stops you from
It
your
triggers you.
progress. It triggers you and then
Yeah.
you just don't want to do anything. This
Hmm.
happens to me sometimes. So I
Oh,
just
it
need to
happens to me all
kind
the
of
time.
identify which ones do trigger me and kind of is detrimental to my progress. And I just have
Hmm.
to accept it. I may not know why it's triggering me yet, but
Yes. And that's
the most
okay.
important thing,
I
yeah,
think
the
that's
most important
okay.
thing is it's just
Yeah.
not working for me right now. I just need to stop it
Yes.
and
And
then
I
move
think the
on.
fact that
Move
you're
on.
acknowledging it, like you already know, like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna stop it right there. Like,
Mhm.
you're not moving forward. Like, up that negative thought, like, all right, down. Like you do something about it. And I think such a great, like it's a skill that you
Mhm.
have to learn that you're not gonna let it get into you because I used to be like that. But now that you're like, okay, this is triggering me. I don't know why. I don't
Yeah.
like it. It's not the person, but it's like something that's subconsciously, maybe it's a traumatic experience from
Mhm.
whatever. And just doing something about it, like that minute, like even just muting a story or like just blocking
Keeping
someone,
it, yeah.
acknowledging the fact like you know that it's going to trigger you and it triggered you, you don't know why. And you just like, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to do something about it. Done. Okay, let's
Yes,
move on.
yes, yes,
That's the
exactly.
best way to like combat anything. Like for me, I'm an overthinker too. It's just like, not to an extent, but I'm just like, I'm so conscious about everything. Like people would judge me, like
Mhm.
they would say things about me and this and that. But like you said, like we were talking about earlier, it's like no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter
Yes,
what you don't do, no matter what you don't
I have
say,
something to say
people
about it.
are gonna say something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do the same things and not like there are other people like with my own husband, like you don't do this and then you started doing it and I still complain. You start to ask yourself like, yeah, what's going on with me? So the same thing with people, it's like you can't please everyone.